Good morning, guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Natasha Mtonero and I'm back again with another vlog. This time round it's a story time. Story time as I prepare to go for breakfast. Yeah, story time as I get ready. So if someone asked you how has your year been, what would be your reply right now? What honest answer would you give someone? Please let me know in the comment section. I'm going to start off with mine. If someone asked me how my year has been, I would say 50% good, 50% bad. But at the same time, I wouldn't categorize 2024 as my worst year, because half of it was amazing. The other half of it, I was sick. That's the part of my story time that I actually want to give you guys today. All was going well in my life until the 15th day of July 2024. It was a Monday. The day started off normally. You wake up, got dressed, I was ready to go for work. I was smart. I put on a beautiful dress that day. As I was going to work, I had to make a decision. I had an option of driving or taking a border, but I don't like driving, especially on Mondays and Fridays, because usually there's a lot of traffic jam, so you end up burning more time and fuel. At distance you would have traveled for 15 minutes, you end up being in one place for over an hour because of traffic jam. It's usually very high on Monday and Friday. For some reason that day, I remember I was quite indecisive. It was a Monday, but usually I make the decision of, I'm going to take a border because I want to save time. I was that kind of person. I was that kind of person who can take a border from Mukono to Kampala to Busega to whatever. Anyway, so I made a decision that morning. I was like, should I drive? Should I take a border? Should I drive? Should I take a border? I don't know. Then I was like, okay, let me just take a border since I was already late. And once again, I wanted to save time and I didn't want to burn fuel. So I took a border. I went to work. It rode me well. Reached my destination as usual. I was on time for work. I had a meeting in Kampala around Kololo. Then we moved to the next site. I had so many sites to be that day. We got done at around 5 p.m. I had to pass via a supermarket, so I passed via Cinabel to pick some things because I wanted to go back home with them. I got what I had to get from Cinabel, things for home, bread, milk. Once again, I took a border from the supermarket to go home. Should I tie my hair? Should I not? Should I not? Let's just hold it because it's cold and we don't want our hair to shrink. Anyway, so I took a border to go home, and just so you know, you guys, each and every time I take a border, I'm always saying a prayer. I always say a small prayer to God. Dear God, please protect me with your grace. Let your mighty hand rest upon me. Let no evil befall me. I pray I reach home safe and sound. Yeah, amen. I'm always saying that prayer all the time, whether it's a border, whether I'm driving, guys, because so much happens on the road and we don't know. Anyway, so as we're going home, there's usually so much traffic around Hillside Nalia because of parents who are picking up their kids from school. But for some reason that day there was so much traffic that day, and I don't know, for some reason cars were not moving. And so usually as cars are parked, borders usually pass on the sides or in between the road. But the border I was on, we passed on the side, and as we're going uphill Nalia, you know how steep that hill is. One of the people in the traffic jam, one of the cars was like, the traffic is too much. like cars are not moving. I think she was in a hurry or something, I'm assuming. So she's like, let me jump out real quick and grab a border and go to like my destination. And so she opened the door without checking if someone was coming, and she opened the door so hard, like so hard, without checking if someone was coming, that the impact was something like, it's actually got a video to kind of imitate how it actually was. The difference is for us, we were on a border and we're going uphill. So when she hit the border, the border guy jumped off. He got so scared, and then he jumped off, and then it being a hill, I was sitting in the backwards, I fell off backwards, guys. I fell off backwards. I fell off backwards, and when I fell, the border later fell on me, but it fell on my leg. Okay, when I fell backwards, I didn't fall on my back. I fell backwards, but I ended up like sitting on my ass. Yeah, so I kind of sat on the ground, and then the border hit my leg. It literally landed on my left leg because of the way we'd be sitting. So the impact was so, guys, I'm going to try and explain how this pain was. The pain I felt, it felt like someone got, let me show you this metal. See this metal? See how thick this metal is? Yeah, felt like someone got that metal and hit my leg so hard. How you like bang the car, like you want to break in, like you want to break it, like you want to hit the car, and then it's kind of like gets a huge dent. That's how I felt. I felt like someone hit my leg so hard, guys. The pain, guys, I don't know. The pain, it's sort of like electrifying. It increases like instantly. Have you ever like hit your leg on like your small toe on a table? You see how you like get instant pain, and then you like try to lift the leg up, and then you kind of want to first jump around while touching it, waiting for it to like cool down. Guys, I felt that kind, like the pain I felt on my, I felt it like that. I felt it accelerate to my head. The pain I felt, you see the pain you feel in the toe, I felt it like 500 times more. The difference is it's like as if the leg felt like as if it was paralyzed. I couldn't move it. I was down. I kept like tapping, trying to hit it, waiting for it to, I actually thought staying still and giving it a few minutes, it's going to cool off, and then I'll get up and then see what's up. Maybe it will swell. I know some of y'all are wondering, didn't you see wasn't there blood? Didn't you cut it? What did the leg look? No, guys, the leg looked fine. I had no blood. So when I was falling, the advantage is I didn't fall on tarmac. I fell on maram, like on the side. Remember, we're passing on the side of the road, so I fell on maram, and then the leg looked fine. Did it look swollen? No, it didn't look swollen. Did I have even a scratch on my body? No, I didn't have even a scratch. That's God's grace, by the way, just so you know. I had no scratch on my body, but how was my leg feeling? On fire. The pain, now I remember how I was telling you that the pain keeps accelerating as if it's electrocuting, and you're waiting, like it keeps increasing and increasing. You know how you like jump when you hit your toe, and you're waiting for like the pain to calm down. I sat, guys, I kept like tapping my leg, like, you get it? I tried tapping, guys. I was in pain. I wanted to cry, but I could not cry. Ever got a bad toothache, and the pain is too much that you can't even cry, but you feel like the pain is killing you? Exactly. I sat on the ground for like 20 minutes waiting for the leg to cool. No, it was not cooling. The pain kept getting worse. It kept increasing and increasing and increasing. Ew! I felt the pain so much to the extent that I actually thought I'm about to black out because it was too much. I actually thought sitting still would help. I didn't want someone to touch even a strand of my hair, because I felt like if you touch a strand of my hair, my leg is going to explode. It's going to explode out of pain. But anyway, I know now the other question is, when you fell off, what happened? What happened is, when I fell off, a lot, I don't know where the people came from. Oh, you remember how I said there was so much traffic that day for some reason? A lot of people gathered around me, especially border guys. They tried to carry me, they were trying to help, they tried talking to me. How are you feeling? I remember some guy asking me, actually he didn't ask, he said, I think she has broken her leg. Yeah, guys, that's something I did not want to hear. They tried to carry me and put me on the side, so they managed to kind of push me slightly to there. They literally just dragged me to the side because I didn't want, like I said, I didn't want even someone to touch a strand on my hair. But when they were moving me, guys, the pain I felt on my leg, I actually felt like my leg, as if they were you know how you feel I felt like the lower part of my ankle, the foot and then the leg kind of had detached. I felt pain. I started praying that I hadn't broken my bone. I started praying I hadn't broken my ankle. I started praying. Now my prayer instead shifted to, God, I pray it's just a dislocation. I started praying for a dislocation. You know how crazy that sounds? I started praying, God, I pray it's a dislocation. I honestly felt my leg. I felt the separation between my foot and my leg. That is when they dragged me to the side. Yeah. So after, I remember there was also some good Samaritan. I remember there was a guy who had a car, and he really insisted. Actually, he waited. People gathered me, people even reduced because I refused someone to touch me. I didn't want anything, but because of the pain I was feeling, people were talking to me. I couldn't even reply them. I was in pain. I felt like I just want to be left alone, but the pain is not stopping. I didn't even know how I wanted people to help me. So this guy, I know he had a car. He got out of his car and he parked close to where I had gotten the accident, and he's like, I think he was parked about 3-4 cars behind the car that actually caused the accident. So he came out and then he waited, so people reduced. So actually when they pulled me to the side, I got the senses too, because I was still holding my bag. I realized the pain is not stopping and the pain is not about to stop. Yeah, so I got the senses. I collected with my entire might and the strength I had within me, picked up my phone, called my mom. I knew my mom wasn't even she was nowhere close to Kampala. So I called my mom, she didn't pick up. I called her the second time, she didn't pick up. Guys, neither pain I was feeling, I started feeling dizzy. I started feeling like, Tasha, you are about to black out. The sooner you work on it. But remember the guy who I said was still waiting. So border guys, also the border guy that called, the border guy was on, and some other, I think there were about 2 or 3 who had also remained. So the border guy said, you sit on the border and I take you to the hospital. They really insisted. Actually, most of them wanted to carry me and put me on a border and take me to the nearest hospital. But because of the pain I was feeling, could you touch me? No. I refused. Anyway, I couldn't sit on a border, that's the truth, because of the way I had hurt my leg. So I picked up, I called my mom. My mom didn't pick up. I left my mom alone because I felt like right now I'm running out of time. Then I remembered I have a friend who was working from around my home, and he knows my home, he knows my friends. I also knew because we were close. I knew that if I called him, he would come from work immediately, because it was so close to where I had gotten the accident from, 10, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes or even less. So I called him and he picked up. I told him, I've gotten an accident, please come and help me. And it's like, where? I told. So when I refused the offer of the border guys, the guy insisted. He's like, I really feel bad, like please get into my car and let me take you to the hospital. Like, I'm not going to leave you here, please get in, like let us carry you and then I take you to the hospital. He insisted. I told him no, I'm fine. So I'm like, let me call someone to come for me and I'm going to get the help that I need, but thank you, because he was insisting. So I think he was like, let me see if she let me wait for her to actually get the help that she needs. So I called my friend and my friend said he's coming. I was like, okay, I'm waiting. And so I told that guy, like, my friend is coming, yeah, and he's going to take me to the hospital, yeah. So the guy is like, okay, if you refuse my help, at least you take my money. I was like, no, I'm fine, what? And then he insisted. He's like, I really, really, really insist. Maybe he felt bad even if he's not the one he's not even the one who caused the accident, yeah. So he insisted. So maybe I didn't want to make him feel bad because he really insisted. So I took his money. He gave me some money. I'm not going to tell you how much, but he gave me money. Yum. Anyway, so my friend was on his way. Okay, now the other question is, okay, did the border guy, when the border guy jumped off the border, did he also break? Was he also in pain? No, he wasn't in pain. Okay, he wasn't in as much pain as I was. He hadn't broken anything. He didn't have like scratches because he jumped off. No, you just fall off and then you can like stand up and then brush it off. A few seconds later, maybe you feel the pain, maybe the next day. So that was his case. The other question is, what about the car that actually caused the accident? The lady, they stared at me for like, I remember she stared at me for like, okay, like when the accident had just happened. So they were there for like less than about 3 minutes. She got into the car, closed, and the guy who was driving, whoever was driving that car, they ran away. Yeah, they branched off to the nearest road and disappeared. Yeah, that's what happened. Did I see the number plate? No, I was in so much pain. All that happened in a split second. Just know, like when the accident happened in like 3 minutes before, as people were concentrating on me, trying to remove the border and trying to move me to the side, that is when these guys ran away. Yeah, they ran away. No sorry, no what, they just ran away. By the way, people, not all of us are bad people, not all of us are money oriented, but in my heart sometimes I feel like they owe me an apology, but at the same time I'm like, I forgive them because it was an accident, it was not intended, and maybe in their heart they're actually sorry. So I let it go. Yeah, I let it go. I don't remember the number plate. The only thing I remember is it was a lady. She opened the back door. It was a silver car. I don't remember if it was a Primo or a Mark X, but one of those two. It was a my car. Yeah. Anyway, so my friend finally gets here, and then he gets an Uber. He was scared. At least when he came, I felt like right now I can't even black out, because then I know he knew where my home was, he knew my mom, he knew, like at least he knew he had a clue where to start from. Yeah, so he got an Uber, and then the Uber guy came and put me in the Uber. Let me tell you. And then we went to the nearest hospital. At the time, the nearest hospital to where I was Frontline. Yeah, because Frontline was just down the valley, just at the valley of the hill. Yeah. So guys, let me tell you, the longest journey I've been on was from the accident scene to that hospital. A moment of silence for the pain I felt every time they shook me, every time the car, even the car, you see how when you're starting a car and then it's like the engine is on and it's just, guys, I felt everything was hurting me. I felt like I was in agony, but I held myself together. I was in pain. Once again, I said I could not cry because of the pain I was feeling. Managed to get to the hospital, got a wheelchair, reached there, and then they're asking me what happened. Of course I told them I got an accident, what. Then they're like, okay. So they started administering. So like, oh, your leg. Cool. They're like, okay, they first got me. Yeah, so when we reached Frontline, my friend called my best friend You're gonna know the other question is, why didn't you call your best friend immediately? The answer is because I was scared she's going to get anxiety. She usually gets anxiety in such situations, and I didn't want to get anxiety. I didn't want her to get anxiety. I actually thought she had worked that day, and I assumed someone in she works a bit far, like out of town. I started assuming by the time she gets to Nalia and it's already evening, it's going to be a bit too far, and she's just going to get anxiety. So I didn't call her. So when we reached the hospital, my friend then took me to the hospital, called her, and she's like, oh, I'm at home, fortunately. By the way, we are neighbors. And she came. So after I got her, she came immediately. She flew. She flew. So I had my friend and my best friend at the hospital at the time. Yeah. So first aid, I remember, because of the pain I was in, I felt like I was in agony. They gave me a painkiller, an injection, and it was tramadol. Guys, if you've ever swallowed the tablet of tramadol, you know how tramadol is. Tramadol is not a joking subject. Now imagine getting the injection version of it. Yeah. So as I got that injection, I waited for the pain to cool. No, it didn't cool. Tramadol had nothing on me. Anyway, they gave me tramadol, and then they tied my leg in a box. They got boxes, then they tied it because I couldn't. They didn't do an x-ray because where I was at the time they didn't have an x-ray, but now they do. Yeah, they put my leg. Yeah, so they did the first aid, and the doctor kept asking, is the pain reducing? I was like, no. He's like, is it still so much? I was like, yes, it's still much. Then he's like, you need to get an x-ray as soon as possible so we know what's happening inside. And then he's like, we don't have, but you can go to like one of the nearest hospitals. So my best friend, then she took over. She drove, and then we went to TMR, the emergency section. They asked me, what have they administered to you? And I was like, they've given me tramadol, and then they tied my leg in a box. What happened? I got an accident. What? They're like, cool. I remember the doctor mentioning, like, maybe we give her pethidine. Okay, for people who know Jackie Chandiru's story, she got addicted, and she got addicted to pethidine. Pethidine is like the strongest version of painkillers, and pethidine it gives you that feel-good factor and takes away the pain. When I had pethidine, my eyes were like, did I just hear pethidine? But guys, the pain I was in agony. Then the doctor, then he changed his mind. He's like, no, just give her diclofenac. Diclofenac is now like the second drug. Like, you see, if they're ranking drugs, diclofenac is like the second. So they injected me diclofenac, and in about 15 minutes, the pain had disappeared. I was now good. I was now back to normal. I think these painkillers have like weed. I think all these drugs are made of weed because you kind of have to like sort of lose it, and then it numbs the pain, and you're good to go. So that's what happened. They gave me diclofenac, and in 15 minutes I was good. I felt good, though I could not move the leg, but the pain had disappeared. Whoever knew I would sit on a wheelchair? I continued praying, Lord, I pray it is a dislocation, because the doctor is like, we really need to do an x-ray. So we went to the x-ray room. I prayed and prayed. Guys, who prays for dislocation? That was me. I prayed so hard for a dislocation. Then we did the x-rays, and then the results came. I went back to the emergency section where I was. And then the doctor came back, like shaking his head, and he was like, it is bad. He said, you've broken your entire ankle. Your entire ankle is broken. It is a joint, and you've broken not one bone, not two, but four. And you've cracked the big bone. The big bone, I think that's what we call, the femur. I don't remember, but the long bone from like the knee to the ankle, I had cracked it. Guys, I didn't know how to take in this news. I was like, no wonder the pain I was feeling. And it's like, I didn't feel bad that it was not a dislocation, because even if it was a dislocation, they were going to twist my leg back to normal. It was going to be equally as painful. So the doctor told me, you've broken your entire ankle, not 1 but 4 bones, and you've cracked the long bone. I was like, eh. And then the doctor continued and said, as I was still processing the news of I have fractures, I've broken a joint, I've broken my entire ankle, and I've cracked, I'm still processing the news. And then the doctor proceeds and says, we need to do an immediate surgery, and we're going to put metals in your leg. I was like, it was just so much to like comprehend at the time. And then they're like, we have to make the decision first. So we later got in touch with my mom, and my mom, at this point, by the time I was getting my results, my mom had already reached me. She was at the hospital. So he mentioned the bones, but truth is I don't know them. But when he said you've broken, I just assumed it's all the bones around my ankle from like the back of my leg. Yeah, I hadn't broken my ankle from the front, but from like the back. And then it's like, we need to do a surgery as soon as possible. And then we went ahead and asked, how much is the surgery? And then it's like, he did the math, they did the math, and they're like, it's going to cost you about 5 million. Yo, guys, how did we go from simply falling off a border in a split second to get into the hospital, and then now you need to go into theater for surgery? Guys, it was just so much to process. So my mother wanted she wanted to seek a second opinion, so I was discharged. My mom requested for me to be discharged, and then I went home, and then they tied my leg again. They added boxes because I had a bad injury. They added boxes on top of the ones that they had already initially put. I went home, slept off the night, guys. Now I'm the kind of person who doesn't like sleeping while facing up. Now I had to adjust to sleeping while facing up. Anyway, night passed, day came. So she got in touch with some of her classmates. She has a classmate who actually specializes in orthopedics. She gave him a call and is like, you bring her to me at Kosu, and I have a look at her case. So my mother took me to Kosu in Entebbe. Kosu is a rehabilitation center for people who have, it's literally a hospital for people who have broken bones or any issues with bones. It's a hospital for bones. Now reaching there, the casualty is full of everyone who has broken something, just like me. And we waited for the doctor. Yeah, so we got to see the doctor. The doctor looked at my case. He asked for another x-ray, and then I had to do another x-ray again because it's like he felt like something was missing. Like the x-ray we had given him felt like something was missing. He was looking for a certain angle, so went and did a 360 of an x-ray. So we did the x-ray, and then we went back to the doctor's room, and then the doctor looked at it and is like, you see now, back then when I said I've broken 4 bones, no, he told me you've cracked it. He mentioned another bone that I had cracked. Guys, processing all this information was not nice. Anyway, the doctor looked at the x-ray, and then he's like, you know what we are going to do? He's like, you don't really need a surgery. And then he's like, there are 2 options. You can go in for the surgery, like we put in the metal plates, then later we do another surgery and then remove the metal. Like they put metals to support your bone, the broken bone, and until it heals. And then after the bone has healed, they have to cut you again and remove those metals. So like that was option 1. The second option was, he's like, I can push your bones back. They say he did his angles, and they're like, we can push them back to position. Like it's painful, but we can push them back and then put it in a cast. And then he said the difference between the operation and then pushing the bones back is pushing the bones back, the healing process is going to be longer than when they do the surgery. Yeah. And then guys, we just had to make a decision. So now the decision was not even in my hands, it was now in my mother's hands. What did I want? I did not want to go for the surgery. I have never gone into surgery, and the other thing is I fear needles, so I cannot imagine going under the, okay, at the time processing the thought of that I'm going to go through a surgery. What? Guys, it was just too much. So I felt like I can bear the pain of having my bones pushed back one by one, and then put my leg in a cast. Yeah, I know. The doctor made the decision, like, no, we're going to push them back. I'm like, okay. So then it's like, it was like, you don't even have to like sleep at the hospital. Go to the theater and they work on you right now. They're going to push them. Guys, there was no time for wasting. It took me to the theater. Guys, my heart was pumping. I was so restless. I was like, I didn't know what to expect. So reaching the theater, they put me on the bed, and then there were 5 doctors. Yeah, there were 5 doctors, and then they removed the box. My leg now had swollen. It had started swelling. But I was still under the power of diclofenac, the painkiller I was given the previous night. It was better that painkiller is strong, because it was still, I was not in pain the whole night, the whole morning, this whole time when I'm at the hospital. When I was in theater, no pain. Yeah, so now here I am at the theater. I'm waiting to see what comes. I know the next question is, did they first paralyze you? No, they did not paralyze me, because they had first given me tramadol, and then at the other hospital they gave me diclofenac. According to the doctor, I can sustain the pain. I don't need to be paralyzed. And then he said, you're not even going to really feel the pain because of the painkillers I already had in my body, like they were still working. Yeah, because I actually wasn't feeling pain. So they told me, put your leg out straight like this. I put it out straight like this. They started pushing from like the lower part, because I'd broken like the lower part from this way. They started pushing one bone, they started pushing the ankle, they started pushing. I was feeling the pain, but it wasn't so much. It felt like, how should I explain the pain? It felt like they were, how should I say, like someone is massaging you and trying to like push the bones. I wasn't really feeling the pain. I was feeling it, but not as much as I would have. So they pushed them back. I really didn't feel so much pain, that's the truth. They pushed them back, felt like they were massaging me while they were pushing. I could feel the bones moving, but I was not in agony. I think I've described it best. Or maybe, I think but these guys are professional. My mother said they are so professional. Yeah, so I didn't feel the pain. I really didn't feel the pain as I had thought. Oh my God, they're going to push them back. It's so painful. What? I didn't feel, but I had forgotten I'm under the power of painkillers. So they got done, then they tied the leg in a cast, and we got out of theater, just like you can see here. I had my leg, it was cast up to the knee. Next thing is, the doctor has told me after the theater, and then I go back to the x-ray room, so they can do like, they have to check the bones again, if all of them have been like pushed back, if all of them are in position. But even when they were pushing them back, they do it under x-ray, like they push bones. It's not like they know in their head, no, they look at the x-ray, they push while looking at them. Anyways, I went back to another full x-ray at 360 to see if everything had been pushed back well. Then went back to the doctor's room, and the doctor is like, everything is now in position. Then he told me, expect like the dangers you should look out for: tightness of the cast, that means the leg is swelling and it's not stopping. Then he told me, you're going to experience some discomfort, but I'm going to give you painkillers. Yeah, and told me, do not put it on the ground, it should be non-weight bearing, it should always be up. Yeah, he told me, you're going to be like this for 6 weeks. Yeah, he said after 6 weeks you come back. And we were discharged that same day. I went back home. I was also given crutches to support my movement, because people were overcarrying me, and like I got crutches to support me in my movement. Then I went back home. Yeah, reached home, I was tired. That same day, we reached home at around, because we went in the morning, we came back I think at around 6. Yeah, so now I'm back home, and now I have to adjust to my new life. When I got home, the painkiller started wearing off my body. The next day, when the painkiller got done for my body, you see the pain I didn't feel in the theater, I started feeling it afresh. I felt the pain. I started feeling pain in my leg. It was so painful, but they had given me administered tablets, painkillers, yeah, that I was taking. Some blue painkillers, I've forgotten the name. Yeah, but they are powerful. Yeah. Let's talk about life with a cast. 1, you are subjected to like one sleeping position. Guys, I had to sleep in one position for 6 weeks. Do you know how tiresome that is? It was so uncomfortable. I got tired of sleeping on my back. The discomfort I was feeling was something else. I was not showering. That's the other thing. I was just dry bathing, like get water and then a face towel and then dry myself. My body felt so uncomfortable. The leg, sometimes I used to feel pain. Okay, remember when I said the painkiller weared off and I started feeling the pain? Now let me tell you something about the cast. The first day after they've like put it, it kind of feels light. With time, like I think from the second week, third week, it starts feeling so heavy on the leg. No, it feels so heavy on the leg that it's like it's causing you pain, especially in the morning after sleeping, guys. Like I would try to put it down when I'm trying to like move from the bedroom to the living room. It was so painful. Learning how to use the crutches, somebody needs to do a whole series on how to learn how to use these crutches. Okay, everyone adjusts differently, but learning how to use them, how to move from one place to another, you get tired, people can't carry you. That was another thing. Then also, let's talk about the days. See how they said 6 weeks? Each and every day feels longer than the other. The days felt like they are not moving. The cast was so uncomfortable. My leg would itch, like it would itch a lot. I couldn't scratch it. I started getting tingling effect, like tingling, like that electricity feeling in your leg. And I started feeling the leg twitching. Twitching, like you see how your eye involuntarily moves. You feel like your left eye is moving without you moving. Yeah, so that's how the whole leg felt. At the same time, you have some pain. At the same time, yeah, it's just a whole lot of things going on. Then let's talk about the mental health. The mental health part of, oh my god, I can't believe I can't walk right now. I can't believe I'm like this. I didn't want people to see me like that. Now let's switch things up a bit. I know I've changed location. I couldn't record like everything in one day because I have like other things to do. Let's talk about sleeping. Guys, you see when you get an accident and then you start thinking to yourself, oh, all I'm going to do is sleep and sleep. Guys, let me tell you, I struggled so much to get a comfortable position, and when I finally got one, I slept in it and also got tired of it. So the comfortable became uncomfortable, and I had to look for like another new sleeping position. But I had like limited options because I had to keep my leg in one angle, so the options aren't really many. Remember when I said that learning how to use crutches, someone should like do a whole series on it? So personally, I actually had a hard time learning how to use them. I struggled so much to like learn how to balance. I remember during that time my sister came back from school. So when she came back from school, she helped me adjust, like learn how to use the crutches. This is because she was familiar with them. Why she was familiar with them? When she was young, she actually she broke her leg. Yo, those crutches used to make my arms hurt a lot. But this is because I was like putting all my weight on the crutches, so my arms used to hurt a lot, like so much. But eventually I learned how to balance like to stand on one leg and then support the other with the crutches. Just as I was getting comfortable, the 6 weeks had gotten done. Guys, I was so excited. I was like, my God, finally they're going to take off the cast, and I'm going to, in my head I thought I'm going to walk immediately. The moment they removed the cast, I thought, I was like, walk, they're going to tell me walk, come to me, like how Jesus told Peter to walk on water. Yeah, I was excited, guys. Let me show you even a few clips of that day. See, this is me. I was excited. Here, guys, we were heading out so we can go to the hospital and take off that cast. I had had enough of it. Yeah, and without wasting a minute, we were taking off that cast. A reminder to you all that everything comes to an end. So this is what my leg looked like after the cast. I put it out on the sun after 6 weeks, and my skin started cracking. It was swollen, it was cracking. Yeah, remember how I thought once they removed that, now the cast was off, how I thought, oh my God, it's now time for me to walk. We went in to see the doctor, and then the doctor told us, well, you've progressed well, but your leg has not yet completely healed, though it is firm. So he said the bones have joined, but they are still soft, like they're not yet hard. They're supposed to be hard. The x-ray was showing that they were white, and yet when a bone has completely healed and then it's like firm enough to like support your body weight, it should be brown. So mine were white. So I need to, since the cast is off, I need to get a brace, an ankle brace. Yeah, so the ankle brace has like metals inside that support the leg. The difference between a cast and a brace is you can remove the brace, so you can shower, you know, and then when you're sleeping you can take it off. Though for my case, because my bone was white, it was still soft, I was told to sleep in it. Yeah, and unfortunately they were done at the hospital, so they referred us to install something at Itawa in Kampala. So we went there. They sell like orthopedic things. Yeah, so we went there, and then I got a brace. But guys, when they were putting the brace, it was painful, like painful. So this is the Install Orthopedics Limited where they referred us to. I came to get an ankle brace, and this is when they were actually dressing me in the brace. Yo, it was painful. Anyway, those threads were cutting me, my leg was swollen, and I just had to get a solution one way or the other. Now life with the brace is another thing. So when we went, after the brace was put on, those threads, the ones that are supposed to like tighten, because I'm supposed to have it tight and have the leg firm, otherwise I'm going to shake the bones, and like they have to be in position. But guys, the threads were cutting my leg. Anyway, eventually I got a solution for them. I got a sock and then cut it, and then I used to put it in a brace. So the threads they were still cutting me, but not as much, like, because this time around it wasn't like direct on my skin. The other thing is, when I was discharged, they didn't tell me to stop using the crutches, so I was still using the crutches. But you see, before, when I was having the cast, I wasn't putting the leg down. This time round, I could, because I had the brace, I could put the leg down. The doctor told me I do partial weight bearing. Yeah, like I'm using both crutches, but this time round I can step, though I don't put so much pressure on it. That's why I was using 2 crutches. Yeah. Okay, the first days are hard. The first days are hard. The first days are hard. For like 2 weeks, you'll be in pain. Once again, this time round, my sister also came back at home. Yeah, she came back at home when I was now learning to I had to adjust to use the crutches and the brace and like the partial weight bearing. Guys, I was doing it in a very funny way that actually was painful. So yeah, when my sister came, once again, she helped me. She kind of helped me adjust to using the crutches and doing the partial weight bearing without straining the leg and causing pain. It got easier with time. Yeah, see here, I had started getting used to the brace. I felt like my feet were now the same size. I could wear a shoe. started feeling my life coming back. I also felt the leg stronger. I was in that stage for about 3 months. Yeah, so 3 months later, went back to hospital for review. This was me at the hospital. I felt like I was now ready for the next stage. But this time around, I was like, okay, I was ready for whatever comes. I just knew one thing is the healing process takes time. So we went back to hospital. So that doctor, every time you go back to the hospital, you have to do like an x-ray. Did the x-ray. This time around, the bones were firm, everything was in position, all thanks to God, right? And then the doctor said, well, it's time we adjust to the next level. So now I had to change. He told me I need to drop the crutches I'm using and then start using an elbow crutch. Yeah, so an elbow crutch is what people would call the rich people's crutch. Anyway, it's one crutch. Yeah, so use one crutch because now the leg was strong enough to support my body weight. So now I had to start putting weight on it, and I had to balance. I had to learn how to balance, because otherwise I'm going to keep limping, and they told me I could limp my whole life. So I had to, they told me I'll adjust better alongside physiotherapy. So now I have to do physiotherapy while I'm using one crutch. Once again, every stage comes with its own challenges. Yo guys, you see how I was excited? Oh my god. Okay, I was happy that, oh my god, I'm finally, getting there. I'm going to start walking. What this stage was, I think it was the hardest stage of all the stages I've been in. Guys, why is it that no one really tells us how painful physiotherapy is? Anyway, I went in for my first session physiotherapy. Guys, I went in like at 8, we came back like at 3:09. Every minute felt like I was dying, but the guy would tell me, remove the brace. I want to see how much you can walk. The pain I was feeling, I had to walk. But then when I was doing physiotherapy, I wasn't doing it alone. So there were other people who were there with me. So I would look at like other people, because me, I had an ankle injury. My ankle was the most affected. Then there was another girl. She actually was younger than me. I think she was in high school. I don't know what she did to her her knee. Yeah, she had a knee injury. Then there was another guy, assumed he got an accident and he affected his back. So now coordinating his hands and legs, they were powerless. Guys, you see I was crying. I can't tell you what the other people were going through. I think he was like on a wheelchair for some time, I don't know. And this time around he was learning how to walk because he had to get off the wheelchair. Yeah, and then there was another guy who, for him it was the hip. I don't know what he did to the hip, but his looked painful, guys. I remember whenever they would like massage my ankle, I used to you see, I'm going to show you. Good thing I have a few clips. Some of you might have thought maybe I'm exaggerating the pain, but see how the massaging sessions go, guys. I was in pain. Guys, I was in pain. That's all I can say, as you can see in the video. You see how simple this exercise looks? You don't know how hard it is for someone who has had an ankle injury. Anyway, physiotherapy sessions went well. Physiotherapy quickens the process. Yeah. So I got comfortable with one crutch, and as of today, December 2024, I can walk without a crutch, though I am still going for physiotherapy sessions. I can't really walk like long distances and stuff, but when I'm walking like a longer distance, I use the elbow crutch to to like not put so much pressure. Then I'm still having challenges with like climbing the stairs, squatting, guys. Anything that involves that squatting ish, and then like tiptoeing. I'm still having a few challenges, but I am grateful to God for where I am today. My life is a miracle. I have learned a few lessons along the way. For starters, everything starts with a decision we make in life. My story started with a decision on whether I should take a border or drive. You need God to guide you. You know, you need God to speak in your heart. You know that small voice that tells you, take this. The other lesson I learned, is stay away from borders. I know what you're going to say. Yes, they are unavoidable, especially if you're living in this Uganda of ours. But please don't take them for long distances. You see, you're going to try and save an hour or two, or even less. And if things go south, it's going to cost you. Personally, it has costed me 6 months. But for other people, people in hospital take more than 6 months to heal. People take close to a year, just so you know. And please buy good quality helmets, so that every time you're using a border, have that helmet on. You don't know when it will save you. It has saved many. I've had several stories in the hospital. Someone is going to call you and put you on so much pressure, then you take a border and tell him hurry. It's going to cost you a lot. Some people have lost their legs, some have lost their... You guys don't know how precious it is to just be able to do what you'll call small things. Be able to bathe yourself, to go to the fridge and get yourself that glass of water, prepare yourself a small meal. Do you know what a blessing it is to be able to walk normally, to run, to jump, to have no pain in your body? You have no pain in your hip, no pain in your knee, no pain in your ankle. Like you don't have any struggles. Please don't take some of these blessings for granted. The other lesson I actually want to share with you guys is privacy, especially when you're going through something. It could be big, it could be something like that brings you so much joy, or something that causes you a lot of sadness. For example, for my case, the accident. Have what we call an inner circle. You all know your people best. The less people know, the better. You know why I'm saying this is because if you're going through a hard time, your enemies are going to rejoice, and then you're going to say, what's wrong with them rejoicing? Or like, let's say now, for example, me, let's say I got an accident, right? And then someone finds out, oh, I got an accident. They will come to finish me off, and then people are going to think I actually died from impact of the accident, when no, someone came, just used it to their advantage to finish me off. I know someone whose medication was changed, and for over a month the person was taking like wrong meds, and the person, instead of getting better, the person kept getting worse. But by God's grace, the person went back to the hospital and they realized, and then they changed their meds and they got better. Now when you're going through something good, you're like, let's say for example you have a business launch, or let's say, like for us girls, let's say you're pregnant. Don't tell everyone that you're pregnant. Don't tell everyone that, oh my God, I'm planning to launch a business, because people who you think will be happy for you do something called, they will sabotage you. They will sabotage you. The other lesson I learned is delays could mean your blessing. You see how I told you guys that for some reason that day there was so much traffic, for some reason cars were not moving. Had cars been moving at the usual pace, maybe the border could have been speeding, and maybe the accident could have been more fatal. Also, when I got the accident, my life slowed down. That with before the accident. Before the accident, I always felt like my life was moving at a very fast pace. Like I was just trying to catch up with my own life, as I was exhausted spiritually, physically, emotionally. And then I was like, God, I wish I could afford the time and money to take like a 4 months vacation. Like I was so tired. But when I got the accident, I actually got enough rest. So it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. Got enough rest, and then I had enough time to do some self-reflection. The ideas I came up with, some self-reflection of where do I want to be, what do I want to do. Some of the ideas I actually thought of, I would have never thought of them. Actually grateful to God for that time that He gave me. Right now I feel more focused. Fingers crossed, I'm going to be one of the richest people in, let's say, 4 years time. I think you all are like, when are these lessons ending? Soon. This is, I think, my second last lesson, so please keep watching. The lesson I want to share with you guys is patience. Guys, be patient with yourself, be patient with your healing, be patient with life, be patient and wait for the whole process. Life is a process. Give it time. I remember when I had just gotten the accident after theater, that I remember the doctor telling me, so for the next few months I want you to change your name from Natasha to Patience, because you're going to need a lot of it. At the time I didn't understand how personal his message was, but I needed a lot of it. Anyway, last but not least is, right now I respect a bone. Guys, a bone is so painful. It's currently the most pain I've gone through in my life. As of today, 15th December 2024, it marks exactly 6 months since all this started, and my heart is filled with gratitude. I'm so happy, I'm so grateful to God that He has stood by me and He has made this easy for me. I am so grateful to God that I can stand, I can walk. I'm grateful. My story has ended in victory, and all thanks to God. I'm grateful to God. Most importantly, I'm grateful to my mom, to my family, and to my friends and everyone who stood by me in these trying times. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for another vlog. I'll be dropping it soon. This time around, I'm serious, I'll be dropping it soon. In less than a week's time I'll drop another video. Stay tuned and stay blessed.